Captain Marcus Webb had spent 23 years at sea, but nothing prepared him for the readings coming from the ocean floor. The salvage platform Meridian's Hope creaked under the weight of anticipation as every screen displayed the impossible, a vessel 52 kilometers long, resting 3,000 meters below the Pacific surface, emitting energy signatures that shouldn't exist. "Captain, the quantum resonance is off the charts," Dr. Helena Frost said, her fingers dancing across holographic displays. The physicist's usual calm had cracked, replaced by something between terror and wonder. "This thing is generating power equivalent to a small star, but it's been down there for at least 2 million years according to sediment dating." Marcus studied the sonar images. The vessel's hull showed impossible geometries, surfaces that seemed to curve in directions human engineering couldn't replicate. "Lieutenant Cade, prep your team. We're going down." James Cade nodded sharply, his jaw set with determination that barely concealed his nervousness. The security officer had seen combat in the resource wars, but this was different. This was first contact with something that made humanity look like children playing with blocks. The descent took 40 minutes. Marcus, Helena, and James rode in the reinforced submersible, watching the darkness swallow them whole. When their lights finally touched the vessel's surface, Helena gasped. The metal wasn't corroded. It gleamed as if it had been placed there yesterday, covered in flowing script that seemed to shift and change as they watched. "It's reacting to our presence," Helena whispered. "The symbols are adapting, trying to communicate." The vessel opened for them. No force required, no codes needed. A massive port simply dilated like a living iris, welcoming them inside. The interior defied physics. Corridors stretched into impossible distances, lit by soft blue luminescence that pulsed like a heartbeat. The air was breathable, perfectly maintained despite millennia underwater. They found the core chamber in the vessel's heart. A sphere of crystalline material floated in the center, 30 meters in diameter, filled with swirling patterns of light and shadow. Data. Knowledge. Memories. Everything the architects had ever known, preserved in quantum suspension. "Captain," James said quietly, his weapon lowered but ready. "We're not alone." A holographic figure materialized before them, tall and graceful, with features that suggested both humanity and something profoundly alien. When it spoke, the words bypassed their ears and formed directly in their minds. "Finally. You have found us. We are the last echo of the architects, preserved in this vessel as we fled across the cosmos. We have waited so long for you to be ready." Helena stepped forward, trembling. "Ready for what?" The hologram's expression shifted to something resembling sorrow. "To inherit our burden. To face what destroyed us. To become what we could not, survivors." The repository pulsed, and suddenly Marcus felt information flooding into his consciousness. Not words or images, but pure understanding. Dark matter manipulation. Consciousness transfer. Star engineering. Technologies that would catapult humanity 10,000 years forward in an instant. But with the knowledge came terror. Memories of civilizations burning, galaxies going silent, reality itself being erased by something the architects called the silence. An entity that consumed everything, leaving not even the memory of what had been. "You must understand," the hologram continued, its voice urgent now. "We seeded your world 2 million years ago. We designed your species with one unique trait: you are invisible to the silence. Your quantum signatures exist in a state it cannot perceive. You are our failsafe, our last weapon, our final hope." James found his voice. "Why us? Why Earth?" "Because you are aggressive. Adaptable. You refuse to accept extinction. These traits are not flaws, they are exactly what the universe needs to survive what comes next." The repository flared brighter, and Marcus felt the weight of billions of years of knowledge settling into his mind, into Helena's, into James's. They were changing, evolving, becoming something more than human. The architect's last gift was activating, and through the vessel's sensors, Marcus could feel something stirring in the deep darkness between stars. The silence had noticed their discovery. Time was running out. Director Vincent Cross stood in the emergency session of the United Earth Council, watching the world's leaders grapple with impossible truth. 3 weeks had passed since the Meridian's Hope discovery, and humanity was transforming faster than governments could comprehend. "They're calling them the Awakened," Vincent said, gesturing to the holographic displays showing Captain Webb and his team. 4 to 7 individuals now, all directly exposed to the repository. Their intelligence has increased exponentially. They're building technologies we don't even have words for. The Brazilian delegate leaned forward. "And we're supposed to trust them?" Trust that this alien knowledge won't corrupt them. We don't have a choice, Vincent replied grimly. The architect's final logs are clear. The silence is coming, and it's already closer than we thought. In a converted aircraft hangar in Nevada, Dr. Amora Osei worked through her 16th hour straight, translating the architect's historical records. The linguist had discovered something that made her blood run cold. The flowing script wasn't just language, it was mathematics, music, and warning all compressed into symbols that rewrote themselves based on the reader's understanding. Vincent, you need to see this, Amora's voice cracked over the secure channel. Her dark eyes were bloodshot but burning with urgency. I've decoded the architect's Exodus timeline. They didn't just flee the silence. They studied it for 10,000 years before their civilization fell. Vincent appeared on her screen within seconds. What did they learn? The silence isn't an entity. It's a cosmic immune response. Amora pulled up holographic reconstructions from the architect's data. When civilizations reach a certain technological threshold, when they manipulate reality itself too aggressively, they trigger something. The universe erases them, removes them from causality completely. It's like they never existed. Then how do we know about the architects? Because they found a loophole. They encoded their existence into quantum states that the silence couldn't detect. This ship, the repository, even humanity itself, were all hidden in blind spots of reality. Amora's hands shook as she pulled up another file. But Vincent, the architects made a mistake. They thought they could outrun it. They couldn't. The silence followed them across 3 galaxies before they reached Earth. Across the facility, engineer Thomas Reeves was having his own revelation. The architect technology responded to human thought in ways that shouldn't be possible. He'd integrated a piece of their Starforge design into Earth's manufacturing systems, and within hours, they'd produced materials that hadn't existed 24 hours earlier. It's learning from us, Thomas muttered to himself, watching crystalline structures grow in impossible patterns. The technology is adapting to human creativity. His assistant, a young woman named Rachel Kim, pointed to the energy readings. Thomas, look at this. The power draw is decreasing while output increases. It's becoming more efficient by observing how we think. Thomas felt a chill. The architects designed this for us specifically. They knew how human minds work. They've been watching Earth for 2 million years, waiting for us to evolve enough to use their gifts. In orbit above Earth, the first signs appeared. Captain Webb, now permanently stationed on the architect vessel, felt it through his enhanced perception before the sensors registered anything. A cold spot in space, a region where stars seemed slightly dimmer, where background radiation simply stopped. Helena, confirm what I'm seeing, Marcus said, his voice tight with controlled fear. Dr. Frost's fingers flew across quantum sensors that hadn't existed a month ago. Confirmed. There's a sphere of null space expanding from the Andromeda sector. It's 17 light-years across and growing. Everything inside that sphere registers as nothing. No matter, no energy, no quantum fluctuations. Complete erasure. How fast is it moving? Helena's face went pale. It's not moving through space, Marcus. It's moving through time. Retroactively erasing civilizations from history. According to these readings, there should be 4 to 7 star systems in that region. Now there are 3, and the records show there were always only 3. The silence is rewriting reality, Marcus whispered. And it's heading toward Earth. Lieutenant Cade burst into the command center. Captain, we're receiving transmissions. Dozens of them. They're coming from the repository. The architects. No, sir. Other species. Hundreds of them. They're all sending the same message. They found architect seed ships like ours. They're all awakening simultaneously across the galaxy. Marcus understood immediately. The architects hadn't put all their hope in humanity alone. They'd scattered their knowledge across multiple species, creating a network of potential survivors. But that meant the silence now knew where to look. Vincent Cross received the global alert minutes later. 7 other planets had discovered architect vessels. Each species was undergoing rapid technological evolution. But 3 of those planets had already gone silent, their quantum signatures simply vanishing from the universe. How long do we have? Vincent asked Captain Webb during the emergency conference. Marcus consulted the repository's predictions, information flowing through his enhanced mind like water. The silence operates on principles we're just beginning to understand. It's not traveling toward us, it's already here, in the past, present, and future simultaneously. It's deciding whether to erase us. What determines its decision? Whether we pose a threat to universal stability. The architects crossed that line when they started engineering stars and manipulating dark matter. They became too powerful, too disruptive. The silence removed them. Amara spoke up from her station. But humans are different. Our quantum signature is deliberately hidden. The silence can't see us directly. Until we use architect technology, Thomas added grimly. Every star forge we activate, every dark matter reactor we build, we become more visible. We're making ourselves targets. Vincent looked at the awakened individuals scattered across the globe, each one a living repository of godlike knowledge. Then we have a choice. Stay hidden and weak, or embrace the technology and fight. Marcus Webb stood in the architect vessel's core, feeling the weight of 2 million years of preparation settling on humanity's shoulders. Through the repository, he could sense the silence's attention turning toward Earth, a vast cosmic awareness beginning to notice the hidden species the architects had protected for so long. We can't hide anymore, Marcus said quietly. The architects chose us because we don't hide. Because we fight even when we shouldn't. Because we refuse to accept extinction. Helena placed her hand on the repository. Then we become the new architects. We ascend and face what destroyed them. The decision was made. Humanity would not cower. They would rise, become the titans the universe needed, and face the silence with every weapon the architects had left them. The new era was beginning, and with it, the greatest war the cosmos had ever seen. General Rita Blackwood watched Earth transform from the command deck of the Prometheus, humanity's first true starship. Built in 6 weeks using architect Starforge technology, the vessel stretched 3 kilometers long, its hull composed of matter that existed in multiple quantum states simultaneously. 4 to 9 identical ships floated in formation around her, each one crewed by awakened humans and volunteers who'd chosen to merge with architect enhancements. General, the dark matter collectors are at full capacity, reported her tactical officer. We're generating enough power to shield the entire solar system. Rita nodded, her enhanced vision tracking the construction happening across Earth's orbit. Massive ring structures were taking shape, each one a weapon capable of manipulating space-time itself. The transformation was terrifying and beautiful. Humanity had gone from planetary infants to cosmic architects in less than 2 months. Status on Dr. Tanaka's project. The Consciousness Transfer Laboratory reports successful integration. They're ready for Phase 2. On Earth's surface, Dr. Yuki Tanaka stood in a facility that hadn't existed 4 weeks ago, surrounded by crystalline pods that hummed with quantum energy. The consciousness transfer specialist had unlocked one of the architect's most profound secrets, the ability to separate mind from body, to exist as pure information. Are you certain about this? Asked her colleague, Dr. Benjamin Stone, watching the volunteers entering the pods. Yuki's eyes glowed faintly blue, a side effect of her integration with architect neural enhancements. The silence erases matter, Benjamin. It removes physical existence from causality. But consciousness existing in quantum superposition? That's something it wasn't designed to detect. You're going to upload human minds into the repository network. Not upload. Transcend. These volunteers will become like the architect AI we found, existing as patterns of information that can't be erased. If the silence destroys Earth, humanity will survive in the network, waiting to be reborn. Benjamin watched the first volunteer, a young pilot named Devin Martinez, settle into the transfer pod. And Martinez volunteered for the combat protocol. He understands what's at stake. Someone needs to be the first to merge completely with an architect warship. To become the weapon we need. Devin Martinez had been a fighter pilot before the discovery. Now, lying in the crystalline pod, he felt his consciousness expanding beyond his body. The repository welcomed him, and suddenly he was everywhere, seeing through 1,000 senses, feeling the pulse of dark matter reactors, understanding the mathematics of reality itself. His body remained in the pod, but his mind poured into the experimental vessel designated Titan 1. The ship was small compared to the architect vessel, only 500 meters long, but it was designed for one purpose, to fight the silence on its own terms. Devin, can you hear me? Yuki's voice came through quantum channels. I hear everything, Devin replied, his voice resonating through the ship's communication systems. I am the ship. I can feel the dark matter flowing through my veins, the Starforge reactors beating like hearts. This is incredible. Can you move? Devin thought, and Titan 1 responded instantly. The vessel spun through space with impossible grace, its dark matter drives bending space-time around it. He could feel the fabric of reality responding to his will. "I'm ready," Devon said. "When the silence comes, I'll be waiting." Above Earth, Rita received the transmission she'd been dreading. Amora Osei's voice was tight with fear. "General, we have confirmation. The null sphere has accelerated. It's 18 light-years away and closing. At current speed, it will reach Sol system in 72 hours. "How is that possible? That's faster than light." "The silence doesn't travel through space, General. It propagates through causality itself. It's rewriting the timeline, erasing the past so there's no future." Rita activated the fleet-wide channel. "All ships, battle stations. Prepare dark matter weapons and quantum shields. We're about to find out if the architects chose the right species." Vincent Cross stood in the United Earth Command Center, watching the displays with Director Kim Walsh beside him. Every major city on Earth was now protected by architect shield generators. Evacuation protocols were ready. Consciousness backup systems were online. Humanity had done everything possible to survive the next 3 days. "Do you think we have a chance?" Kim asked quietly. Vincent thought about Captain Webb, now permanently merged with the original architect vessel, coordinating Earth's defense. He thought about the thousands of awakened individuals, humans who'd become something more, who carried the knowledge of a civilization that had seeded galaxies with life. "The architects were peaceful explorers," Vincent said. "They built wonders and spread life across the cosmos. When the silence came for them, they ran. They tried to hide. And us? We're different. We've spent our entire history fighting. War, survival, refusing to accept defeat even when it's rational. The architects chose us because we're too stubborn to die quietly." The hours ticked down. Across Earth, people watched the sky, knowing that beyond the blue atmosphere, their champions prepared for a battle that would determine whether humanity joined the architects in oblivion or carved out a new place in the cosmos. Marcus Webb felt the silence arrive before any sensor could detect it. Through his connection to the architect vessel, he perceived reality beginning to fray at the edges of the solar system. Stars that should exist simply weren't there anymore. History was being rewritten, and the wave of erasure was approaching Earth. "All ships, form defensive sphere around Earth," Marcus commanded. "Devon, take Titan 1 to the front line. You're our first strike." Devon Martinez piloted his merged consciousness through space, the ship responding to his thoughts faster than any conventional vessel. He reached the boundary where the silence began, and what he saw defied description. Reality itself was unraveling, a spreading void where existence simply stopped. But Devon didn't retreat. He fired the dark matter cannons, weapons that manipulated the fundamental forces of the universe. The silence recoiled. For the first time in cosmic history, something had hurt it. "It's working," Devon shouted. "The dark matter disrupts its erasure field." Across the fleet, 50 ships opened fire simultaneously. Beams of weaponized dark matter, quantum disruption waves, and spacetime distortion fields hammered into the silence. The void shuddered, its advance slowing. On Earth, Yuki Tanaka watched the consciousness transfer numbers skyrocket. Millions of humans were choosing to upload themselves into the quantum network, preserving their minds even if their bodies fell. Humanity was becoming something the architects had never imagined, a species that existed in both physical and digital forms simultaneously. Rita Blackwood piloted the Prometheus directly into the battle, her enhanced reflexes allowing her to dance between erasure waves that would have unmade the ship instantly. "All vessels, concentrate fire on Sector 7. We're punching through." The silence adapted, spawning tendrils of null space that reached for the human ships. 2 vessels vanished, erased from history as if they'd never been built. But humanity didn't break. For every ship lost, 10 more pressed forward, firing weapons that shouldn't exist, crewed by minds that refused to accept impossible odds. Marcus felt the turning point through the repository. The silence was programmed to erase civilizations that threatened universal stability, but it was encountering something it had never faced, a species that became more dangerous when pushed to extinction. Humanity's aggression, adaptability, and sheer stubborn refusal to die were traits the silence couldn't calculate. Devon Martinez made the final push. He piloted Titan 1 directly into the heart of the silence, his consciousness merging with the erasure field itself. For a moment, he understood what it was, not evil, not malicious, but a cosmic immune system trying to maintain balance. "I see you," Devon whispered. "And I'm telling you, humanity won't be erased. We'll find a way to coexist. We'll learn to use this power responsibly. Give us a chance." The silence paused, analyzing this strange species that could communicate with it, that could hurt it, but also reasoned with it. Through Devon's merged consciousness, it saw something the architects had never possessed, the ability to restrain themselves, to choose peace even when they had the power to dominate. Slowly, impossibly, the silence withdrew. The erasure field contracted, pulling back from Sol system. It didn't disappear, but it stopped advancing. A test passed. A truce established. Rita watched her displays in stunned silence as the null sphere receded. What just happened? Marcus understood through the repository. The silence accepted us. Not as threats to be eliminated, but as the universe's new guardians. We proved we could fight it and choose not to destroy it. That's what the architects never managed. Across Earth, celebrations erupted. Humanity had faced cosmic extinction and survived. But more than that, they transcended. In the weeks that followed, humans began spreading across the galaxy, using architect technology tempered with human wisdom. They found other species the architects had seeded, sharing knowledge, building alliances. The Star Forgers worked continuously, building wonders the architects would have recognized. But humanity added something new: restraint, cooperation, the understanding that power without wisdom led to the silence's judgment. Vincent Cross stood on the observation deck of humanity's first star engineering platform, watching robots construct a Dyson sphere around a distant star. Beside him, Amora Osei smiled tiredly. "We really did it," she said. "We became the Titans." "No," Vincent corrected gently. "We became something better. The architects were Titans who fell. We're the species that learned from their mistakes, that faced the silence and found a third option beyond hiding or dying." In orbit around Earth, the original architect vessel remained, now a monument and a library. Marcus Webb, still merged with its systems, felt the pride of the ancient AI that had waited 2 million years for this moment. "You have exceeded our hopes," the architect consciousness whispered. "You have become worthy inheritors. Not of our power alone, but of our dream, a universe where intelligence thrives, where species cooperate, where the silence is not an enemy but a boundary that teaches wisdom." Devon Martinez, his consciousness now able to shift between his human body and Titan One at will, piloted the ship on humanity's first extragalactic mission. Other species were out there, other architect seed worlds. Humanity would find them, help them, build a coalition of survivors who would protect the cosmos together. General Rita Black would address the United Earth Assembly, her words broadcast across 100 colony worlds humanity had established in mere months. "The architects gave us their knowledge. The silence gave us our test. But we gave ourselves something neither could provide, the choice to be better than those who came before us. We are not conquerors. We are not destroyers. We are guardians of a new era." The applause was deafening. Yuki Tanaka watched millions of human consciousnesses flowing through the quantum network, some choosing to remain digital, others returning to biological form, many existing in both states. Humanity had become truly immortal, not through cheating death, but through evolving beyond it. And in the darkness between galaxies, the silence watched humanity with something that might have been approval. For the first time in cosmic history, a species had proven worthy of the architect's legacy. The test would continue, across millennia, but humanity had earned the right to face it. Earth had recovered a fallen titan of the stars, and what they found had indeed ignited a new era. Not through conquest or domination, but through the stubborn, beautiful, uniquely human refusal to accept that anything, even cosmic extinction, was truly inevitable. The age of humanity had begun, and the universe would never be the same.